coming to you live from the Abuja studio of King Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network Television, which is more popularly known as Kaftan TV. And my name is Dayo Mogun. I'm excited that we can do this together as usual again. And I hope that you are having, by the way, happy Democracy Day to you. And I hope you are having a great day out there. And we will be talking about the Democracy Day celebration today. That's the Democracy Day 2025, which points out the fact that we've had about 26 Democracy Days. We intend to go right back through history and find out how did we get to the point of establishing or setting aside a day to celebrate democracy in Nigeria, and several other associated issues. And without much ado, I'll bring in my guests right away. From my far right, you have Dr. Clem Aguiyi, who is a barrister and solicitor and a partner at Gold Badge. And I mean, the list is endless, but we would leave it there. And I'd like to say you're welcome.
Thank you, Dayo.
Thank you very much. Welcome. Now, so we also have your man, Ambassador. You know, many times I tell, incidentally, what we're about to talk about has something to do with MKO, and I say that he is an attempting MKO. Well, his name is Ambassador Moses Kolawole Obisesan. And he is a political practitioner as well as a public affairs analyst. And of course, he's into business and all that, but as much as possible, we limit it to that. And I'd like to say you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Happy Democracy Day, Nigerians. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Now, so we will be hitting the road straight away as we begin to take a look at the origin of Nigeria's Democracy Day. And I'll be starting with the barrister who I called doctor originally, which means that he has a PhD. Am I correct?
You're right.
Right. So I'll interchange. So if you hear me say doctor or you hear me say barrister, without filling in the other names, just know that you know how they write contracts? They say they are aforementioned.
Aforementioned. Just one at a time.
Yes, sir. So I'd like to start with you. Now, at some point in our national history, the idea of Democracy Day came. What were the factors that gave birth to this?
Thank you for that very important question. And like we all know, this is a long journey. And this a journey that started in 1993, exactly 32 years ago today, that Nigeria had a June 12th election that was annulled. And that election was believed to have been won by MK Abiola. And it was a time the military were also trying to transition to civil rule. Eventually, that very election was annulled. And our democracy didn't come easy. It was a democracy that we fought for. It was a democracy that lives were lost. People paid with their lives. The winner of that election was MK Abiola, lost his life. And now we have been about 24 years or 26 years uninterrupted democracy in Nigeria. And effectively in 2018, the former president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, officially moved the Democracy Day from May 29 to June 12, which actually resonated well with many Nigerians. And that was how we got to where we are now, that we are celebrating Democracy Day in Nigeria. And it is a celebration that we don't have to trifle with, because we fought for this democracy, and we don't need to trivialize it. We need to take it serious to make sure that people got the dividend of democracy. Before now, we used to say that our democracy is nascent. It's no longer nascent. It's 26 years. And we will have made our mistakes, and I believe we should have learned from those mistakes, and certain things that we see happening ordinarily shouldn't be happening, because we have tried this, we fought for it, we got it, and we don't want to lose it. And I think every Nigerian should actually fight to preserve the democracy and make sure that the government we are having is not just civil rule by name, that we also have a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And that is what democracy is all about.
Now, let me ask you, Ambassador, what we have right now, is it really government of the people, for the people, by the people?
Okay, thank you very much. Sincerely, we must thank ourselves for unbroken 26 years of democracy.
All right.
That's the first thing. We are not at war, full-blown war. And I can tell you that, are we where we want to be? Surely not. We're very far from where we should be as a nation by now. Very far from it. But are we where we were when we started the democracy journey? Surely we're not there. So it means that we have progressed, but very slowly, very slow, snail speed. But I tell you that, because when you say, are we practicing the real democracy? I can tell you that democracy is evolving, you know, even democratic nations, you know, that have actually spent hundreds of years, they are still, they won't say they've gotten there. They are still working on it. It's usually work in progress. So I would say that yes, we are. However, we have a lot of fine-tuning. We have a lot of work to be done. We have a lot of progress to be made. We have quite a lot of works on our hands. In fact, I want to challenge President Tinubu to simply say that, look, history beckons to him. To be honest to you, history beckons, because you know something, just like you said, MKO Abiola, you know, 1993, about 32 years ago, you know, who actually was the hope, when they say renewed hope, it was the first hope that was taken around and all of that. Died in this struggle. He did not only die, the wife died, Kudirat died, several fighters of democracy. In fact, we purchased this democracy with a lot of tears and blood. It's a very expensive thing that we got. And I tell you that his first 2 years really has not, much as he has made some progress, but I tell you that he can do much better. He can do a whole lot better there, because we see some countries that have actually moved their nation. I mean, some leaders that have moved their nation from where they started to where they are right now. It's not rocket science. In fact, today I'm just going to be talking about 10. I'm going to be giving free consultancy to the president to say that, look, if you're serious to actually make a deliberate, an indelible mark on the sands of time, something that Nigerians are going to actually remember for a very long time. He has the opportunity right now, but he needs to move at the right pace, and then he actually you need to prioritize some other things, because there are a few things that really need to be prioritized.
So, in a word, in summary, are you saying that we've still not actually practiced real democracy?
When you say real democracy,
I didn't. Originally, you said real democracy. I'm saying what we practice currently, is it government by the people, for the people, and of the people, for the people and by the people?
We are practicing democracy,
right,
but we are not doing it the best way. That's the best way, because if you do not look at the glass cup half empty, look at it half full.
Half full.
So we know that this is where we want to be. We're not there. Surely we're not there. But I tell you that even the worst of democracy is better than military rule, because you don't look at.
All right.
I tell you something, that you should not only look at the economic gain, the psychological gain that some will need to earn my leadership. that I'm not going to be whipped into the line. I'm able to actually have freedom of expression. I'm able to actually exercise what I believe. So
let's get
there's
there.
a whole lot, that I bring on the table, because a lot of time when Nigerians want to say is, in fact, I sent a text to somebody. I sent something. I said, "Happy Democracy Day." The person said, "I don't even know that today is Democracy." Very, because they just feel like, what are we to show for it? And I understand very clearly.
All right. Now,
however, but we cannot say that we are not practicing democracy, because then we will now be moving into another form of stuff. And I don't believe that.
All right then. Well said. Now, I'll go back to Doctor. Now, originally, on days like this, you have march past, some fanfare at the Eagle Square, and all that. And originally, in fact, up to the last minutes, that was the expectation of Nigerians. But suddenly we heard that the president opted to go address the National Assembly. Now, is that, what's your reading of that? Is that a gauging of the mood of the people, that we shouldn't be in such high spirits? There's work to be done. Let's prioritize the work to be done. Or how do you read?
I think it's a combination of factors that might have come into play here. It could be also gauging the mood of the people, and also try to prioritize what matters. And many Nigerians believe that the government of the day should be able to focus on what matters, instead of parade and fanfare.
So what matters?
What matters is the welfare of the people.
Correct.
What matters is the security of the people. What matters is the health of the people. What matters is the education of the people. What matters is our electoral reforms. Is it a kind of election that making you ask whether we are in a democracy? If people are actually earning your votes. If you look at the last election, it was disputed.
Correct.
And the cause for kind of reform, because the institution like INEC is very critical in our democracy. And you see INEC also, there are many vacancies in the political system. For example, there are 2 Senate seats that are vacant. There are 5 House of Reps that are vacant for more than 90 days as stipulated by the Constitution. And these are constitutional issues. And INEC up till now has not been able to organize an election to make sure that people are represented. And constitutional matters are not matters that you make excuses for. And for INEC to say they don't have money to have my senatorial district represented in the Senate where Nigeria is being discussed, that means I'm being denied my right to be heard in the National Assembly. And these are critical institutions. And you look at our education system. You look at whereby JAM mismanaged the entire UTME of 2025, and there were mass failures. And because of computer glitch, the same thing INEC blamed for the bad election they conducted. You look at where in 2025, Nigerian students, their future has been jeopardized because they had to write English exam
in the night,
in the darkness, in the night. And English is critical for you to pursue higher education. It shows failure. You look at our health sector, we have over 30,000 primary health cares. Only 20% of it are functional, according to reports. And we still have public health care, primary health care facilities that you have where people are having delivery and there's no toilets, no sanitation, no hygiene. This is failure in the education system, in the health system, because you see our politicians not having confidence in the healthcare system. All of them are from the president to the councillor, goes abroad for medical treatment. And you cannot tell Nigerians then that their life has improved. In fact, Nigeria is one of the worst places to be sick in today. Because the only thing today in Nigeria, you walk into the hospital, you come out dead. Or you slump in your house and you die. And you look at the security situation in the country. Before our own democracy, the rate of killings that we have in Nigeria, the rate of insecurity, is it the same thing? It has, almost all part of Nigeria is like, Ambassador said that we're not in the full-blown war. But he admitted that at least we're in a war, but not full-blown.
But not full-blown.
Not full-blown.
Yes.
And I tell you that more people are dying in Nigeria than the countries where they're having civil war because of insecurity. So the critical infrastructures of government has collapsed. And people are not feeling the impact of their democracy. And you look at the economy. Poverty has taken over. Nigeria is not the headquarters of poverty almost in the whole world. Look at the inflation rates. Look at the minimum wage. The minimum wage cannot even take you for a week. Nigeria deserves better than what we are. What we are getting. Look at the electric energy tariff. They have taken the oil cabals to the energy cabals. We move away from where we remove subsidy on petroleum without any impact to now we are owing 4 trillion in the energy sector to Gencos. How do we get into that trap again? It's the same abuse of subsidy and the same corruption that is being moved all over the place. So, my dear brother, the issue is, yes, we thank God we have democracy, but I have to thank the Nigerian population who have tolerated, not the politicians, who have misused the trust of the people given to them. But I have to commend Nigerians for even tolerating democracy up to this moment. Because what has happened in this country, I don't think it can be happening in many places in the world, and people are still comfortable on their seats. I saw somebody dancing and singing, everything is turning around for good. Of course, it could be turning around for good for them.
For you.
But for him
them,
and for them, but is it turning around for the rest of Nigerians? I don't think so. Many Nigerians are complaining. And so I think what the abrupt calling off of fanfare and parade, gauging the mood of the people, could be one of the reasons why they may have to cut it off. Because you ask yourself, I mean, for what? That millions of naira that have been budgeted that will have been spent today. Billions of naira that will have been spent today could be used in building pipe-borne water for the people, which is more needful. That's what matters. You ask me what matters.
Exactly.
It can be used in putting toilet in that primary health care center that has no toilet where women are delivering children.
That creates a problem. That creates a problem. What he just talked about, that the abrupt change of mind over how to celebrate the day. Because what it is that if money has been budgeted for, you can't be sure that in the Nigeria that we know, in spite of the cancellation of that event, those monies are likely to still get paid out. So that provides a space for some stealing. That creates a space for some stealing. How do you react to that?
Okay, I get you. For sure, I mean, cancelling within 24 hours means that the money has been spent.
It's out already.
The budget has been spent.
Exactly, much of it has been spent.
Yeah,
exactly.
Most of it has been spent, correct. But what has not been spent is the psyche of Nigerians. What has been saved is the psyche of Nigerians. I tell you that the mood, if the government of the day still listens and got a feedback to say Nigerians don't really think it's time for any funfair. Mr. President, bust this. And at the last minute, he thought about it and he said, look, it's not about the jamboree. It's not about the party for me. It's about talking some very serious stuff with Nigerians, being represented by the National Assembly. And it takes that. I think it's kudos. Because I tell you something, whatever the masses are feeling, they are not feeling it in the villa. Mm-hmm. So if he just still goes ahead and throws out and the planes are flying and they are just dropping the flag, national flag and all of that, hey, the masses will be looking and will just be in their sober mood, but they will still have their party. You understand? So I love what he said, that Nigerians have tolerated, the government of the day, and that's really the stuff.
Not just the government of the day. I mean,
no. The entire system, not necessarily government of the day, but the entire governance, the entire leadership, over the years. Yeah. So for me, really, what I think is for us to help the country set agenda, because if we don't have an agenda that goes beyond this current administration, then everyone will come and do his own and as he deems fit and then leave. You see, it is not enough to say renewed hope. What exactly does it mean to Nigerians? What is this renewed hope about?
What is the hope being renewed?
Yes, which hope do you want to renew? What exactly is the content of the renewed hope? I tell you, the first thing I think the president needs to do is to be able to set the vision and his thoughts very clearly, you know, as an agenda that he wants to achieve in the, I mean, in fact, we can see an agenda for the country for the next 10, 20, 50 years. If you see countries like China, that's what they do. So that when they have already made everyone to see where we want to go at a distant time, even when the government of the day changes, the next person who comes has seen where we want to be, and they continue in that trajectory. So it's not just going to be, oh, I just have 4 years, let me just quickly do, because all of those short-time goals, they are really not far-reaching. When you have short term, because I tell you, 4 years actually in turning things around is a bit short to be able to actually take us from where we were and where we want to go. And that's why I'm saying that there are 10 things that I haven't studied the countries of the world. We can say there are 10 ways by which they moved from where they were to where they are right now. Top 10 countries of the world. They were basic things, and we can copy and actually implement.
All right.
All that is required is the political will for him to want to do it. And I'm saying that we will be able to give the government of the day such a free consultation so that they get it on Kaftan TV to be able to say, if they actually want to move this country forward, look at this. These are some of the things that you should consider. Take your time to look at it, and we're serious about this, and it can actually help move them forward.
All right. Let me go to Doctor. In the course of his intervention just now, he said that you can set an agenda beyond your term. And I'd like to find out, you're a lawyer, is any successor government bound by whatever a predecessor government puts in place as an agenda?
No, government is a continuity.
Yes.
Every responsible government knows that you have to continue from what you meant. And no government would think that they can solve all the problems.
All right.
4 years, 2 years may be enough to destroy everything, but 4 years is not enough to repair everything.
Correct.
And everybody that sees himself in the political position must understand that you are time bound. In the next 4 years, you are gone. The other 4 years is to be earned a credit based on your performance.
Correct.
And if you don't have it, you don't have it.
Yep.
So there's not like it's my turn to do 8 years. It may be your turn to do 4 years, but the 8 years, the other 4 years have to be earned based on your record.
Correct.
And like I said, there's no magic one that any government can wave and say, let there be light. And there's you have to be determined and have the will and work towards that direction. We're providing that light. We had Vision 2020 when I was still, we never knew 2020 will come.
I tell you, it seems so far away.
It seems forever.
There was also a 2010 agenda, I've forgotten what it was.
Yes,
and
there was a
2010.
And I think 2010, and then I had about 2040. I don't even know the content of that 2040. But what I'm saying is this. Every government must realize one thing. You are time bound, and you have to move with that consciousness, that determination, that discipline, that, look, this is not my house. I have to do what I have to do within a reasonable time and move. And another person that comes, once these things are institutionalized, then you'll be able to continue from them. Because one of our major problems is discontinuing policies,
abandoning projects
started by your predecessor, and then move to another thing.
Yeah, all right, Doctor, let's hold it there so we can go on a break, and when we get back.
Thank you.
We've traced the history, how it came about, and we might go a little bit back to that. But then we are progressing on how has it been ever since. And my guests, Barrister Clem, Aguiyi, and Ambassador Moses Kolawole Obisesan have been doing a yeoman's job here. You better call your neighbor and tell them to line up so that they can see what's happening. And so we make progress right now. Oh, there was something you was. Do you want to complete that, or we just move?
Well, let's move on.
Let's move. Now, let's do a comparison. Let's compare and contrast. We had military regimes in times past, and we've had what's it now? The democratic dispensation. If we put them side by side, what do you think the results will be? For example, maybe we'll just take this stretch from 1983, when Buhari toppled Shagari, up to 1999, when Abdulsalam handed over to Obasanjo. That's a space of 16 years. And then also you now have 26 years of democracy. And then you have 16 years of that. Maybe we don't need to bother about the period of the Yakubu Gowon, Murtala Mohammed, Obasanjo, and so on. Now, in terms of projects delivery, in terms of impact on the lives of people, in terms of making promises and making them good, and so on. Even in terms of freedom of speech that Ambassador alluded to a while ago. Can we draw the parallels? Yeah,
I will be very hesitant to
do that.
To draw a parallel between military government and democracy, because they function under different circumstances.
All right.
The military government, like you know, is a one-man dictatorship, where there's a command and control. Where the military the man in charge can wake up in the morning and say, I want to create 36 states.
Yes, exactly.
And he goes ahead and creates 36 states. And you accept it. And it works. He might wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to develop this city. And I'm going to put the money in building this city and these bridges. And he goes ahead and deliver on that. In democracy, you have to go through the shenanigans of consultations.
That's the word.
You have to go through parliamentary approval. You have to go through all these checks and balances and all whatnot. For example, you look at the Calabar-Lagos Coastal Road. People have to go to court. Environmental impact assessment have to be done. People have to be compensated. These are the things you might not be hearing in the military government, because the military will have their way. So, making that comparison, they all have their own drawbacks. The only problem we have in both sides is that our military dictatorship didn't actually pay Nigeria fine. Because most nations are built on dictatorship. But our own dictatorship did not actually move out into civilization the way we're expecting it. It is still the same military that handed over the corruption that we have today. They're the one that gave us the dysfunctional system that we have today. I remember when Obasanjo came in. He came in and met debts. That debts were transferred from military government. And the first thing his government started doing was trying to see how to get out from the debt trap, which we are back into another debt trap under democratic governance. But the beautiful thing about democracy, no matter how much you don't like it, no matter how slow things are going, is that the fact that you feel, yes, I am the one who elected, who is going to rule over me. And that is what we want to get at, so that we can be holding them accountable and be responsible for the fact that we elected them. I remember one time I was in Switzerland, and we were discussing about elections. That was when Bill Clinton was the president of America, and the election was up then, and we were discussing some of the way American election was unfolding. And they asked me a question, you're from Nigeria, how do your election goes in your place? I said, well, the way election goes in my place, that you don't like the man that is there, you kill him. you do a coup and topple him. And if he's lucky, you lock him up for about 2 years in there, and leave him there and continue with your governance. Everybody laughs, but it's not a funny thing, because that was how military is. Nobody asks you, you don't want Mr. A, General A again, let us vote. They just plan and conspire.
Maybe I should take you up right now. Now, if you say that during the military, you couldn't just say, we don't want this particular person, we want a replacement. Right now, under democracy, do the people have such luxury?
To some extent, yes, but not to all extent. To some extent, that the pretense of at least having an election in some areas, especially at these governorship levels. There are National Assembly levels, there are some elements of election going on. But in the one that annoys me is not even at the presidential election, where we have almost every election that is presidential disputed. The one that annoys me more is the fact that we don't have democracy at the grassroots, local government level. Because the local government level is where actually our democracy should be practiced. But you see what happens in almost all the states. The state governors
Just
commandeer and where are you? Which is the government that is nearer
to the people?
To the people. Which government will listen more to the people? And I think the people at the local areas is where the action is. They should be able to elect who is their councillor, because they know themselves. They may never get to Abuja to talk to the president in Abuja, but they should be able to talk to their councillor and talk to their local government chairman, who is very close to them. But they don't get the chance to elect who is there. Almost all the states where you have a governor commandeer the result for his own party. That is what the one that gets me very, very angry about our Nigeria democratic trial. Because if we have failed it at the local government level, come on, we have failed it.
All right.
Generally.
We fail it at the local government level, we have failed it. I do hope that we will not fail it, because again, you must give credit to this particular administration for pushing to get the declaration by the Supreme Court to ensure that the local government councils can have autonomy, financial autonomy. And I think that that will go a long, long way in strengthening their hand. Because as it is, part of the problem is that you know you can't run without money. And your money is in Big Brother's
I'll tell you one thing, Dayo. The government, I praise this government for taking that step. But have they completed that step?
That's the
Has it been actualized that the local governments are autonomous? That's what we call the political will. And because this government has deliberately, on their own, put themselves into a panic mood of election, that they can no longer govern. Now they are compromising with the governors of states. Because the autonomy that you're talking about is not there in the local government, as I've talked to you.
It's not.
It's not there. You understand?
Yeah.
Because, and that means the dividend of democracy, the benefit of that autonomy is no longer, is not being benefited by the people.
Yeah, maybe
it's not. But maybe it's not that it's not.
No, the government set up an agenda.
Yes.
They set up a timeline.
Yes.
The SGF and the Attorney General of the Federation set up a timeline. What happened to the timeline? You see, projects must be delivered on time. Policies must be time bound. The political will to follow through, all of a sudden, sagged. Because of what? I needed people to defect to my party. I needed people to support me.
Do you think so?
Yes, that's what happened. Otherwise, nothing will have stopped the Supreme Court judgment from being enforced in this full. It is a very good attempt to rein in the issue of local government and make sure that local government are practiced well. And I saw that the National Assembly that was trying to do local government election reform so that INEC will be the one conducting the election is also stalling.
So that INEC will conduct the elections in the states,
in the local government. All elections. Because the states have done better.
It's not as if even the work that INEC does is foolproof.
Yeah, but it's better than what the states are doing. INEC own, you can see maybe 70% error, 30% positive. In the state's own, it is 100% error. Zero. You understand? Zero. So let us tell ourselves the truth. Yeah. It's zero. Nothing you can write. Nothing you can write home about in what the states are doing.
Maybe I'm not as crazy in terms of your marking script. No. Maybe the local government.
No, let me come to you, right. Ambassador.
Okay.
Now, if we chose June 12, there definitely was something special about June 12 to make it the Democracy Day.
Yeah.
Now, having done that, have we strengthened those values in the subsequent elections that we have had? Have we strengthened those values? Have we moved forward? Have we done better with our elections, or have we regressed?
Okay, thank you. Just like I will say, June 12 marked a departure from the military rule to the civilian rule.
Yes.
Because of the struggle.
Not quite, because it was curtailed.
No, it was but again, the struggle continues until they were able to draw. It became the country became ungovernable
somehow. That's correct.
So, I mean, because all of the fighters of democracy were everywhere outside of the country,
including
right
this current president.
Yeah, including this current. But he was a garrison leader when it comes to making sure that the country wasn't just good enough for the military. So they had to pack their baggages and leave. Abdusalam did the final touches, 9 months, and then he organized election, and he brought someone. You see, for me, when you say whether the democratic experience, looking at it, have we really made progress? I will tell you something that sincerely, that we have unbroken 26 years of democracy. It is something to cherish and work better on.
Exactly. So I'm asking, have we worked better on it?
No. We are working, but I told you that we are pretty. Look, there are a number of things that is wrong.
Slow.
There are a number of things that is wrong with what we've been doing. First of all, we do not have a clear, what's it called, short-term, medium-term, and long-term vision. So the country is unable to say, where are we going as a people? So there has not, none of the presidential leaders have been able to come and say, you know what, guys, this is what we want to do in the 4 years. This is what I'm thinking about in the next 10 years. This is what we're thinking about in 50 years. There is nobody who is able to set such agenda clearly enough with timelines and with things to be done to be there, because it's not, you see, when you don't do that, then you get the people confused. They are thinking, okay, so what's the guiding principle of what you want to do? I'll give you an instance.
Yeah, so you can go ahead to some of those things, not the entire 10.
No, I'll just pick a few that we can go. There are actually 10 steps for countries to move from stage 0 to El Dorado.
Where are we right now?
Basically, we may not be 0 because we didn't just get our independence. This is now not 1960, but I will tell you that we're really somewhere very low. Our democracy is maybe about 10-20% where it needs to be. There are so many countries that are way far above us. And I'm saying that we can copy and paste. What it means is that it is not a thing that it's not rocket science. You can see what this person has done and what we need to do. The first thing any serious government needs to do is to get its boundaries very clearly defined. Very clearly once you come into government, the first thing you need to do, because you see the problem of Boko Haram and all of that is boundless. They call it ungoverned spaces. You can't possibly, the first thing you should do is to say this territory is like buying a land. When you buy a land, don't go and build anything. Just do your perimeter fencing first. So that you can say this space, so as much as it is, I own it. It belongs to me. But we don't have what we have right now. Everybody moving and move out of through our borders. Our borders is so porous. Then you're now thinking, why do you have, why the Boko Haram? Country is not left like this. No border, no security, nothing. So the first thing when you come, you need to actually be able, I'm talking about if you're starting from 0 to where you need to be, because it must be clear where you want to govern. This is the space meant for me. From 1960 till date, we have not been able to do that. They say our borders is porous,
and maybe as a fallout of that, we don't even know who are Nigerians.
We don't. If you don't have any border, in fact, you see some of our border states. You see people moving just in and out. You don't know who is a Nigerian, who is a Nigerian, who is from Chad. Everybody just go. No, you can't do that. The closest people to United States, what's this? Whatever. You see, there is still massive control. If they want to come in, they know they are coming in. If they want to go out, people know. They know exactly when you're coming in and when you're going out. We need to get that done with, because without being actually getting, because that's actually what will help you to be able to deal with, to eliminate crime. Right now, the crime rate is drowning this country. Simply because we have so many ungoverned spaces. We have so many porous borders, and then we can't move forward. Nobody can make any appreciable forward movement if we still have such things. So that's the first one. The second one is to eliminate corruption. I'll tell you this. Look,
I would have preferred that you don't list it.
No, okay, I should just keep.
No, that you don't list that particular one because it's become.
No. But you see something, you must also give solution. How will they deal with this? Look,
you said something a while ago and said it's not rocket science. Is it rocket science to deal with corruption in this?
No. But you must give them benefit of the doubt. Maybe they don't know. Let me tell you, if I was Tinubu, this is what I'm going to do about corruption. Right. You just draw the line. Anybody who's been corrupt before now, who we can trace our money to, we will do plea bargain and get our money from you. We'll go after you and get the money, but we're not going to throw you in the jail. We're not going to throw you in jail and in prison and all of that. But from this 2025 going forward, anybody that is picked will rot in jail or even can actually get something stronger than that. If you draw the line, everybody understand. We will come for our money, even if you've stolen from 1960 till now. We will come and get what belongs to us. But we will do more of plea bargain or whatever to get our resources. But we will not throw you in. But from now going forward, in fact, if you have a crazy radical person, they're actually going to bring another option to just take off such person, because it is criminal. It is unheard that a few people will take the resources of the state and pocket them, and then you see 13 million on school kids on our streets. That is army of militants that are going to go after us in a few years to come. How are you going to send them to school? How are you going to actually protect them? They were talking about the worth of life. If you see worth of life in Nigeria is so cheap. But you see some other developed crime, if you see how much they place on one human being, and that is why they ensure that healthcare is there, you can feed him, you can do all of that, because you know that when this person is fully developed, he can actually make whatever. That's number two. Number three is actually build core infrastructure. You see, when we're talking about eradicate crime, Singapore did that, Lee Kuan Yew. What he did is he drew the line to say no corruption again. If you flout this, he was going to take care of that.
I think that part of the problem, Ambassador, is the fact that when you come to equity, you must come with clean hands.
No, let me tell you. I'm coming. Yes, you are correct. But you see, we should not be giving excuses why things should not be done. If I come and I say, look, you know what, guys? All the past thieves. Look, Buhari almost got it right. I'm coming. Buhari almost got it right.
If I lose track of this. Yeah. If you come and say all the past thieves, and you belong among the past thieves,
I will remove whatever I've got. Look, what does this man? What do you need? What do you need all of this money for? What do you need it? If you think if it can actually be traced to me, I'll say, you know what, God, look at what this guy did in the Bible, Zacchaeus. He said, look, they said I'm a thief, I'm a tax collector. If there's anybody I've unduly taken money from, I will give times 4 of whatever. That guy, as at that point, should have been. I mean, he's actually declared bankrupt, because if I say you've taken my 10 naira and you say I will give you 40 naira, I'm in trouble already by that statement. But he made it is a bold statement to say, you know what, I am willing to change, or I have not done anything wrong. It was just a perception. So that this guy can actually do it, because look, if we think that you want to move forward and you want to govern this country, it is possible. That's the point I'm trying to say. Yes. I'm not saying it requires a lot of political will. I did not say it is easy. I only said it is possible. And I said, if I'm in his shoes, this is what I'm going to do. The top thing, and I've just given an example of the person, someone who did that. The person who did that was actually Lee Kuan Yew, in Singapore. And you can see where they are right now. The third one is actually radical, to build core infrastructure. Look, China saw that there is nothing that will develop a country as much as its critical infrastructure. People thought they were stupid when they would just look at a particular place and go and look at their rail system. 40,000 kilometers of rail, running everywhere. Go and look at their road system. 183 kilometers of road system. Don't right there. Go and look at their ports. Go and look. All of the critical infrastructures were seriously developed. They pursued it as if their life depended on it. In fact, go and check some of the bridges, some of the whatever iconic stuff. You will see a long stretch of bridge, and there won't be any pillar. They actually have gone incredibly insane in infrastructural development, because they saw. Look, right now they are far beating US to it in terms of infrastructure. China is #1 in the world.
Right.
They pursued it as if they are
just two more.
Okay, that's fine. If that's the much we can take. So that's actually infrastructure. And China is actually a major country to look at. The other one is to invest in education and human capital. Look at South Korea. South Korea doesn't have all of the all of the natural resources and all that we have. But you know something? They went back and say, my people will become incredibly, their net worth of my people. I'm going to put all that I have in my people. South Korea did it, and today they're one of their top. Whatever. They will just all they just pay attention to is that right now they have 98.8 literacy rate. 98.8 literacy rate. Anywhere, anything they are doing, go and see all of their invention, all that that South Korea is doing. In fact, before they were one of the poorest country, right now they have actually jumped. Why am I bringing all this? Is the first country to see that if I have political will, it can be done. Because sometimes we are looking at if this thing is it possible, is not possible. It is very possible if we have a very serious country, a very serious government. Monetize your strategic resources.
How do you mean?
Look, we've got a country that actually do this, UAE. That's United Arab Emirates. What they've just done, it was, United Arab Emirates was just like a desert somewhere. The moment they struck oil, they did something different. What they did was that as we're pumping out this oil, we are putting it in certain areas that will make us never, so even when the oil gets dried, we will never need anybody. And that's what they are doing. If you see what they've invested in tourism, in trade, in innovation, these are things that countries have done. Sometimes I just wonder, last time I went in UK, and I was just driving. My friend and I that I was with, we're driving, and I said, there are no houses here, but the road is done even before houses are constructed. But here, people are living in slum. Look at Mbappe. There is no laid out anything, no design, nothing. People just get to somewhere and just think, okay, I should put this house here. Whether water will flood, will carry them. And you have millions of people. Slum in this country as of today, slum is growing faster than our construction. Go and check it. Fact check. I'm telling you. They looked at the country, some years back, and look at it right now, and they realized that slum is actually developing faster than the construction rate that we're doing. When the government is saying we'll do 100,000 houses in 1 year, they are not even doing it. They are not. The whole construction is so the point I'm trying to really bring right here is that all of the money we make from the oil, should not be stolen, for crying out loud. You can develop several things that will tie down those gains, and that can look at what we're able to do with our music industry, with our whatever. Those guys initially in this country, you will realize that the music industry were playing 90% foreign music, but only 10 in Nigeria. Right now, those guys by themselves, we should give them kudos. Those are the people that we should turn up for. They by themselves actually reverted it. Right now, 90% local music and only 10 outside of these shows. That's what you have right there.
We're going to hold it there, Ambassador. You want to play a fast one?
No. When you want to, because again, I don't want us to just keep complaining about what is not working. Let it be that we're able to
within the government space or within the government, he has just given some, like he said from the beginning, some free consultancy that you probably want to use. For me, I do think, excuse me, I do think that a lot of these things, they are not totally new. That's why I said listing eradication of corruption, as far as I'm concerned, you have had corruption almost since I was born. You have had corruption. It was corruption that led to the first coup, if I remember.
Correct.
So, until today, it's not been tamed. It's actually growing bigger.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. How do we keep talking about the same thing? And you know how they say that doing the same thing and believing that the results will be different is insanity.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm personally pained that things remain that way. Now, so let's make some progress. So the ambassador has listed at least 5 things that the government can do to turn things around. And then let me invite the viewers to weigh in on all of this. And the number to call is on the screen, 080-299-38365. I hope that wasn't too fast, but it's on the screen. But I can do it slowly. 080-299-38365. And so we expect your call so that we can do this together, so that we can carry you along, because who knows, that idea that will change things for Nigeria could just be in your heart and your mouth, and we probably will be able to shout Eureka. So now, do call in right now, please. And then, because we're running out of time. We have, we have barely 30 minutes. All right, the first caller is here. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
You're welcome to the Polity on Kaftan TV.
My name is Raymond from Jos.
Raymond from Jos. How's Jos today?
Very fine.
Great. So let's hear you.
Though we are having a democracy for the politicians, by the politicians and for so far so good, democracy has been benefit to the country than that of the military rule.
All right.
Stand up for freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and we need freedoms. But I want to commend the president, because despite the complaint, there is some parts he has achieved greatly. And if we can have, despite the fact the minister of FCT, many people might not like his style and the rest, the man has done well. So if we can have like 7 to 10 of his ministers that can perform like that, I think the economy will be more stable. I want to still say congratulations to all Nigerians for witnessing 26 years of democracy.
All right.
Keep improving. We will keep improving.
Okay.
Because no matter how a parent complain about his child, it does not mean that that child will remain that way. As the parent is complaining, he's trying his best to improve the life of that child. That is how Nigeria is. We'll keep complaining, and the country will one day get to her state where everybody will smile and say, "Kai, we thank God for this day." To have a blessed day in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Raymond. So Raymond, as far as is concerned, believes that we've made some progress and that we'll make more.
Correct.
Yeah, that's quite positive, and you need positivity to move forward. Yeah. So let me ask this from both of you. What has been your best memories, your high points of this 26 year of democracy? Maybe 1, 2, 3 things. Okay, while he's thinking about it, let's take this.
All right. Then.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're welcome to Kaftan TV, and the program is The Polity. Yes, you're welcome. We can hear you. Go ahead, tell us your name, your location, and just go straight to the point.
I watch you on the screen. Thank you so much. I am Pastor Sunday. And I come from Obisesan, in Imo State.
Okay, Mbise, Imo State, all right. K. Cody.
I didn't matter.
All right, let's go quickly.
So, the young man at the center, I love him.
Thank you.
Go on quickly. Oh no, what happened?
You have told you what you want to tell you.
Oh, that's all he wants to say. Maybe it's possible, you know.
Okay, so you asked that what are the few things that my highlights for the country. Number one,
in the last 26 years.
The first one is to see that this
high points in the journey of 26 years, things that
thrill
you,
the entire 26 years.
Let me take this.
Oh, I thought this government. 26
Hello?
years is a long time.
I can tell you one for free. Hello?
Good afternoon to you, Dio.
Oh, good afternoon. How are you? I guess this is Wags.
Ibrahim, Mr.
Ibrahim Mustafa, yes, from Gwags now. My Gwags man. All right. Go on.
My regards to your guys there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love your observation in this discussion about corruption. What you said, he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Corruption, he said, is a culture in our country. It has a very long history. And all that come forward to fight it, they face daunting tasks. To the extent that during the time of Obisesan, Okunjewala said to fight corruption in Nigeria is a very dangerous thing.
Because corruption will fight back. Yeah.
Because corruption will always fight back. And during the time of Buhari, corruption, the fight against corruption almost took his life. During the time of Buhari, it was only God that saved him. And you realize that no government has come in without saying it's fighting corruption.
Exactly. So, I mean, and yet it's getting bigger and bigger.
It's very endemic. It's systemic.
Exactly.
It's institutional. And it has an origin. And I'm telling you today, the origin of this corruption is traced back to history. The formulators of our constitution, they wove in corruption into that constitution for the military to always be in power, whether in uniform or without uniform. And that is why it's very difficult to check corruption. The elites have seized the power in this country, and most of these elites they have military background.
Maybe some time ago, but I don't think that that's the picture right now. Go on quickly. But you have less than 10 seconds to round up. Thank you.
I'm sorry, please. If you look at it very critically, the June 12 we are discussing today was not meant to be successful. It became a successful election, the fairest and the best, and it was cancelled. Meaning that they were not set out to get it in that way. The man, the main umpire, IPB then, was not ready to hand over. That was why the election was cancelled.
All right, Ibrahim, do we leave it here? Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry to what you have today.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ibrahim.
To maybe quickly take your question.
Yes.
It looks like a very easy question, but it end up looking like a jump question.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, but I will not say that because most of the memories have been wiped out because of the sufferings we are going through today, that there were no high points that was memorable since our 26 years of democracy arrangement in Nigeria. And I will tell you that the day Nigeria was able to clean up our debts under the President Olusegun Obasanjo then was quite significant.
You clean up and then you mess up again.
Well, you asked me what was my high point.
Yeah, well, that's a huge one. Let me quickly take this.
Yeah.
Okay. Indeed, okay, it's gone.
So
Indeed,
that was a high point for me.
That's huge.
Yes, and another high point for me in this our democratic trial is when the National Assembly was able to stop the third term.
Wow.
The remote third term of.
All right, Doctor, let's take this.
Yes.
Hello. So you had all this and you said you don't have anything.
And another memorable time for me was when the late Umaru Yar'Adua was able to accept that the election that brought him into office was flawed. And admitted it was a flawed election.
And something was going to be done.
Yes, to change the electoral system.
Narrative.
That remains very, very significant.
I'll take this. Hello. Hello, you're welcome to Kaftan TV.
Yes, my name is Karma. Yes, my name is Karma Chris from Nasarawa State.
Nkarma Chris, let's hear you.
Yes, seriously, the man in the center is contributing very well.
All right, okay.
I give that man a very big kudos.
Thank you.
Maybe
Yes, if that man can contest and have that character, then Nigeria will move forward so seriously.
I like why you say how you said if that man can contest and have that character, because a lot of times we are very fantastic with platitudes. We have heard fantastic things from people before they got into office. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, there is one funny thing in Nigeria today. Our people, our politicians can elect somebody that cannot govern us well. And on serious note, we are in the bigger trouble today in Nigeria. So our people, our masses, they are suffering. So if a man in the center can give a very good analysis like that to the politicians, maybe they can learn from what he said. Seriously.
All right, just before you go, can I ask you a question?
It's okay.
Now, what is one high point of this 26 years of democracy that you are excited about, that you would constantly, you'll tell your children? I'm sure you can still hear me even though you are offline, but you won't be able to get back. That's the problem. Now, so you had listed two.
Yeah.
I listed three.
Oh, three.
What's the last one?
Yeah, the last one, like I said, was when former late president.
Okay, the third term agenda was.
Yes, when he admitted that the election that brought him into office
Okay,
was
Yaradua.
flawed, and set up a committee to review our electoral system. That is the high point of humility and also dignity and character that I expected from Nigerian leaders. Things might go wrong, but accept it with sincerity and work yourself towards that reform. But unfortunately, all these things I mentioned have been wiped out by successive government. The debt trap I mentioned here that we were able to clean up, made Nigeria free. Well, now our debt portfolio is almost like 180 trillion as I speak to you now, or 188 trillion from the statistics. That's why it becomes, like you said, we got out from the debt, we're now back in debt. But then we got out from the debt. I was happy. I wish we never got back.
It was a glorious moment.
Yes, it was a glorious moment. And when democracy was able to protect democracy, when the National Assembly, that very day, I was on the TV, I was watching, and the third term agenda was killed by the people representative. That was a high point for me.
All right, let's take this. Let's take this. Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir. Well done, sir.
Well done, my brother.
Yeah, this is Port Harcourt.
Oh, thank you, Ade from Port Harcourt. You're very consistent. Oh, yeah, tell us what you want to talk.
Okay. The level of corruption nowadays is too much. I remember the olden days when I'm small. You see some politician, because it is always they happened for years ago, it's not today. But olden days, you see some politician who give somebody 505 with portfolio. Our about this they can get it, say no, but they can still tell the truth. But nowadays nobody is talking truth because of what they want to chop. That was everything get as it be like this. You understand? And they say to reclaim the just say, okay, let's put this in a penalty. Anybody take money. Do you want to do it for House of Assembly? Because of them is corrupt. The chairman there is corrupt. Okay, let's do like this. Something happens to you guys.
You don't have any evidence to that effect. Okay.
Yeah, that's the issue you have. Who want to implement it? The annex might be our problem. Let annex change mind. When the annex, somebody vote for someone, you put it on your seat, you do the right way. If someone spend money, a lot of money, you want to make your money back. How much issue you get? I beg. God bless Nigeria. God bless you. Well done, sir.
Thank you very much, Ade. So, while I go to him, having given your high points, about 3 or 4, 3, I'd like you to also begin to get ready and tell us one of the lowest or 2 of the lowest points. Let's hear you.
Okay.
On the same matter.
The first thing is to see...
Your friends are here. Hello? You're on air, please. Hello? Hello.
Hello? Hello?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Good afternoon.
Right. What's your name?
My name is Rabi.
Rabius.
Calling you from State.
All right then. All right then. Go on.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the Captain TV and the gentlemen sitting. Even their perspective, it's very wonderful.
Right.
And we are still learning a lot. So democracy, we are talking about the Democracy Day, that is in 2025. Historical perspective, evidence, and the way forward.
Right.
So actually, I don't know the actual time where this government, from military government, took over civilian government or democratic government took place. But what I read or I see on ground, actually we are moving backward. We are moving backward. Because the types of leaders from the founding fathers is not the same, the type of leader we have today. Their character and characteristic is not the same. Because in those days, our leaders are pious. They take care of the common man. But not the same today. Where a leader can siphon a lot of public funds and enrich himself and his family, living poor as a vulnerable. Mr. Dayo, these palliatives that the government is given in the area where disaster occurs is not something that everybody can get. It's not everybody. Most of the people cannot go even near where they are collecting it. So what we are trying to see for the politicians is to make sure that they turn character. They build a Nigeria that will become habitable to everybody. When you look at this time, current predicament, rising cost of living, insecurity, NEPA has increased, this NEPA has increased the fees. Even text message, even calling wire. So you see, there is no place where a common man can enjoy. No potable water, no electricity. And since from the beginning of Nigeria, politicians are campaigning about potable water, electricity, main road, agriculture, and so on. This agriculture, the government is talking about, cannot be achievable unless they found insecurity.
All right.
So, like me, I can produce, as long as I have, normally in every year, I used to cultivate 3,000 bags of corn. I can't go farm now. I'm telling you, a villager like I am, small boy.
And that's your business. That's the entire business that you do normally.
So that is,
Didn't hear.
any program that comes to agriculture can only be achieved when the insecurity has already high.
Taken care.
The barest minimum.
All right, Rabi, we will need to leave it here. Thank you very much for calling in all the way from Katsina. Thank you so very much. Now, I was asking what your own high moments have been.
Okay, I will just say a few things. The first one will be when Yar'Adua actually used diplomacy to solve the Niger Delta challenge. It was huge. Because he said he felt sober when he realized that brothers within the same countries, people of the same countries were actually at war with themselves. You want to take it?
Hello?
Hello, Dayo.
Yes.
This Ibrahim Musa again. Just give me a few minutes.
Not a few, just 30 seconds. Go on. Okay.
The issue of takeaway from June 12th. If June 12th had not been cancelled, probably there would have been some takeaways. But because it was annulled, no takeaway from it. And the prayers. Since they have not had any election like this.
Well, it might not be totally true that there's no takeaway from it because it has become a model for elections. Go on. Go on, Ibrahim.
The solution now, we're looking for solution to this problem.
True.
The solution has to come in the form of constitutional and electoral reforms.
All right.
Things like impunity for governors and their deputies and for presidents and their advisors must be removed because the buck stops on their table. If they have less immunity, they could be investigated even when in office for offenses committed by their subordinates and their appointees. because the boss stops on their table, and that will serve as deterrent. Because otherwise, you cannot try a man who has committed so much corruption while in office and then put his subordinate in office when he's going out of the office. Just
to cover up for him.
Yeah,
all right, Ibrahim, let's leave it here. There's limited time. We have limited time. I appreciate your consistency in calling, and I appreciate the depth of your analysis. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, so quickly, I said I love what Musaya Adwa did, when he just said, you know what, initially people thought that he should roll down the tank, against them. What President Obasanjo did, that he actually leveled OD. You want to take the call?
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, you're welcome to Kaftan TV, the Polity.
My presenter, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Greet our guests in the studio there.
Good afternoon.
Right.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yes, there is an issue about this Nigeria that has not been in public discourse for a very long time.
There is an issue already here because you have refused to tell us your name and your location.
Yeah, two guests in the studio there. I've not heard them discuss anything about this.
Tell us your name and your location.
It has to do with internal arrangements.
Tell us your name and your location.
I'm calling from Uyo.
Your name?
My name is Dan Udo.
Correct. So we can move now. What is the issue that has not been discussed? Go on.
Yes, I said I want to discuss an issue that has been avoided for a very long time by Nigerians about the police and their retirement benefit.
All right.
And these are the officers that have served this country graciously. But I want to surprise you that for some times now, some officers retired and had to stay for 1 year and some months before they are even attended to in respect of their terminal benefits. And nobody discussing these issues. So I don't know whether policemen, police officers are not part of this country.
Well, the truth is that right now,
Let me just stop there.
Oh yeah, thank you very much for making it very brief. The point is that having raised it now, it has been discussed. People are hearing. It's possible that people in the presidency are listening to this. People in the police service commission are listening to this. The people in the police pension institution are listening to this. So you've done well, and who knows, we might get to that point where we also make it a topic very shortly.
Okay, so quickly, I was talking about Yadua. He said, look, I will not raise any tank. What Obasanjo did with his own was to roll out tank to level OD. And so he went in another way, that there was no one gunshot, but he sorted out the issue of Niger Delta.
All
Fantastic.
All right.
Ken Saruwa was not killed. No OD issue, none of that. He solved a major disaster. He avoided a major disaster. We didn't go into civil war like we did the last time. So it was a key thing for me that this guy could do this, because I knew him. I mean, they were family friends. I used to, before he became the head of state and all that. So
usually before.
Before, yeah, no. After he became, it was crazy. So, but that's one. Number two for me is actually Good Luck Jonathan. He said, "My ambition is not worth the blood of any Nigerian."
And he walked the talk.
He walked the talk. He picked the phone and called. It has never happened. Power intoxicates. He would have given Buhari a fight for his life. It's not him that would die. It is the men.
No. Even Buhari was surprised.
Yes,
he was shocked.
He was shocked that he gave him a call.
He said it.
For me, I was blown away by that. By that very gesture. That, look, you know what? Hey, you want to lead? Come on. By no means, take it. Roll. The guy was surprised. Is that? Yeah, come on, man. Before the election was decided, Jonathan called. Fantastic. You want to take a call?
Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yes, you're welcome to Kaftan TV, the Polity.
Yes. I feel the man that I call back. The man that I call from
about the police? Oh, okay. Go on.
Yes. I was trying to give kudos to the young man at the center the black man. I believe by the grace of God, I believe that man has spoken the mind of Nigerians, if I'm to say. See, how I wish that the man will come out and contest for presidency. I will vote for him. You see, it is not all about going to the office. The issue that I'm seeing that is happening in this country that one wants to enter into the seat of power and answer the president or answer the governor, but they are not doing anything. I remember once the late Obisesan, he sang a song in Igbo language that said, so what we are seeing these days are no longer the leaders, is the rulers. That's why we are suffering so much. Look at what is going on. That young man there has spoken the mind of Nigerians. Let me just forget that so that other people can.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, so that's
the second one. The third one, to me, sincerely, is the local government autonomy that this current president did. You know, for me, really, it took the power from the center. He didn't put it at the state government, but he took it to the local government. I will encourage him that he should pursue it to logical conclusion, where it will just not be on the pages of the paper, but it will be effected so that people, because you see, when that is done, some of us I don't need to be the president. I want my hometown to be good. I can go to become a local government chairman. But if all that you are the whims and caprices of one governor who doesn't mean well, so everybody just want, it's either you want to participate or you don't want to participate. You understand? Because the reason why you see so many persons coming to sit in Abuja is because there is over concentration of powers in Abuja. And if I'm going to give you 2 extra, it will be I've given you the 3 that you asked, but if I'm going to give you maybe just one. I want to thank Obasanjo, what's it called? I want to thank Tinubu for actually saying subsidy gone. All right, okay, we'll leave it there. Yeah. And so think about what is the worst moment. So I mean, when you felt your heart sank, you felt that why should we have this? And so let me start with him because I told him before.
Yeah, the lowest point for me in this 26 years of democracy was when the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Oyen, was removed from office on trump of charge and was taken before a very inferior court that had no jurisdiction to even try him. And then made pronouncement that they said there's the basis of that he's removed from office, and that was when the judiciary was actually totally destroyed and captured in Nigeria. And that because you see, the independence of the judiciary is very, very critical for democracy to thrive. And once the judiciary has been assaulted in that form, and life goes on, I mean, everything is gone. The checks are no longer there. All right.
Okay, for me, in 30 seconds. For me, basically, my low moment is actually the fact that they actually terminated my namesake, MKO Abiola's election.
No, that's outside of the 26 years. I'm saying 26 years.
Of our democracy.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. The low moment. What will the low moment be? Really, I don't have one on my head right now.
Now. Okay, and that's because you were looking beyond.
It's beyond that. I thought that all the.
Well, I have one huge one as far as I'm concerned. The fact that I can call whoever I want to call. I can send a message on my phone. I can do several things on phone. Yeah. I mean, that touches me every day. It changed the landscape. Correct. It changed business. It changed. I mean, even media. People are calling from Taraba, Katsina, and all that. So, very big one. I didn't plan to talk about a low moment. I'm the host here. Yeah. And so at this point, we just got to go. And I must say a big thank you to Dr.
I will want to plead that at some point Clem, we should come and discuss this solution to the
all right, no problem.
I want to say that.
All right,
because a whole lot have been done on ground.
Clem Aguiyi. Okay. Thank you so very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you
for having me.
Right.
And been a wonderful time.
It's been an exciting time. Yeah. And thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you for having me. All right. Time. Yeah.
All right. And at this point, first, I must say a big thank you to my production team always. I mean, they do a great job. Fantastic. And Nigerians or whoever have been watching, I mean, you know, without you, we can't do this in the first instance. How can you have a teacher teach in an empty class? What will that amount to? So, I will want to say a big, big thank you. And tell the people that there's a TV station that's doing so much. By the way, you can support this TV station with your adverts. Yes, just come in here or maybe call through our numbers after the show and try to find out how you can do this. Thank you very much. My name is Dayo Omogun, and it's bye for now.